Okay, let's get going then. Move the. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the FX Group webinar, where we're going to go through some live trade planning and analysis, which, as I put here, is preparing for the battle. And it really is half the battle with regards to your trading. Ultimately, if you kind of roll up to your screens and you turn on your charts and you just pick anything that jumps out at you, you are going to be setting yourself up for failure. Part of being a profitable trader, a consistently profitable trader, is about putting in the effort early on. Okay, and that means doing your trade planning, thinking about what it is that you're going to take, and then ultimately preparing yourself to execute according to that plan. If you can do that, you put yourself in the best position to be able to make money from the markets. And if you don't do that, then please don't be disappointed if you walk away and it's ended up costing you some money. So, before we do that, we need to go through our little disclaimer. So, as always, the content of this webinar is not investment advice. Okay, it needs to be used for educational purposes only. I'm showing you what I do when I go about planning my trades. I'm not recommending any trades for you here, okay? This isn't like a signal service or anything like that. I'm not saying take this trade. I'm just going to talk you through what's going on in my mind as I look at the different charts, as I sort of prepare my trades for later on today and the weeks to come. It's not advice to you guys to hop on and take the trades. If you like the ideas, then of course you do your own due diligence and you make the decision for yourself. Okay. Before we go into that, a little bit about myself. My name is Alex Ong. I'm the co-founder of TradersCorner-online.com, and I've been trading the FX market since about 2005. I trade with my brother. We've co-authored a number of articles for FX Street, the FX Journal, a number of different websites, magazines, all of that kind of good stuff. We've also created some strategy guides, and we teach people like yourselves how to go about becoming a consistently profitable trader. Our Facebook page is at the bottom there, so facebook.com/traderscorneronline, and the Twitter feed is at alexonguk.com. Okay? So now that we've got all of that out of the way, what we're now going to do is jump straight into the charts and start looking through the various different pairs and seeing what there is that could be setting up for us in the days to come, weeks, months, and all of that kind of good stuff. So what I do when I look at my charts, initially I always start with the time-based charts just to get a perspective on where the markets are going. Once I've done that, I then look for entry points. Okay, so I'll then start looking for things like my range charts, which are my favorite charts to trade. And then we kind of take things from there. But we start with the big picture. So I've got a number of pairs in front of me. I probably look at about 30 or so pairs. And we kind of just click through each one and look to see if the condition is favorable. If it is, we'll take a closer look. If it isn't, then we'll knock it on the head and we'll move on to the next one. Okay? So starting with the pound dollar chart, looking at the big picture perspective, looking at the weekly chart, this is a difficult one, okay, because it is consolidation, but it's not ugly consolidation. It is harmonic. Now, do any of you guys look at the way the markets are trading? So not just whether they're trending or whether they're consolidating. Do you guys look to see, what do the swings look like? Are the swings, are they nice? Are they harmonic? Are they aesthetically pleasing? Or do we have a lot of wicks everywhere? Is the price all over the place? Because that's one of the things that I look at. So even though looking at this here, looking at the pound dollar from a weekly perspective, there's really not much on. I mean, we've got this guy over here. If we get a bullish engulfing over at this candle here, what that will tell me is that these lows here have been rejected. So even though there's not a trade on at the moment, it will give me an idea as to where the market could be going. Now, the market's tried to break through this level once in the recent past, and it's come down to it again. So back in March, it tried to get below it. We're over here in July, and it's tried to get below it again. If the market can't break below that and breaks back above, that's going to tell me that we're looking at a bit of a bullish market there. So we could very well see a move up to at least these sorts of highs here, which will be the first resistance point, and then certainly these up there. Okay, but the price action over here is going to tell me everything that I need. So we're looking at a few things from the pound dollar perspective. What do we have here? Is this a flag formation on the pound dollar? Where are you looking at? Are you looking at the weekly chart? I wouldn't say so, not yet. But looking at the weekly chart perspective, from the big picture, we've got a few things that could be occurring here. So first of all, we've got the market retesting this previous level of resistance here. Now, previous level of resistance, let me sort my life out, previous level of support. If the market respects this previous level of support, which becomes resistance, we can look to trade it. We'd look for an entry on a lower time frame. So we'd probably look for something either on the daily chart or the 4-hour chart. If we look at the daily chart, look at what we could be getting here. These are the same lows that were showing us their stuff on the weekly. So what we'd be looking for on the daily chart is for the market to come up here and give us some sort of a shooting star or a bearish engulfing, something like that. But we'd want it to come up to this level here. So we need to be patient about that. Okay. However, we may not get that sort of price action. So what's the other alternative? We can't just trade because it gets to that level. Or, well, you can, but we personally don't. But it is a very, very strong level. If we look at this here, we've got bounce, support here, support here, support here. The market eventually breaks through, breaks back up above, comes down, breaks up above. We really need to see the market respect this level. If it starts to break up above here, then we're going to have to look at possibly looking for some long opportunities trading towards the top of this consolidation zone here. However, if it respects it there, what I might be more inclined to do is look at the 4-hour chart, being this guy over here, and look for something like a 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern. All right. So if we it'll be a bit further up than that. Let's take a look. In fact, you know what? Scratch that. I wouldn't necessarily look at a 4-hour chart for this. The reason the 4-hour chart would be a little bit difficult to take a trade from, if I can sort my life out and zoom into these charts, or would it? Hold on, let's just put the chart in perspective. What is this one? No, I guess if the market pulls back to here, you could look for a 1, 2, 3 reversal at this particular level, but we want to see the market get back to this level. What I was just about to say is it looked to me like this line was way, way back above here when I just zoomed out. And if the market is too far away, then ultimately on the 4-hour chart, the reason that I wouldn't take it is that if this swing here had to pull back to somewhere like this, and completely retrace the entire previous swing, then that wouldn't be as great an opportunity from a 4-hour perspective. Because what we're looking at, guys, when we're looking for trades is that we need them to be harmonic. So you're not just looking at the setup itself, you're looking at the way the markets look. What do the swings look like? Are the swings proportionate to the moves? Okay, so what you don't want to see is you don't want to see a nice swing down to the downside here, followed by a swing that's much bigger all the way to the upside, because then you're in a market that doesn't know what it's doing. All right. So that's what I was about to say. When I was, going to say to you just now that perhaps we'll leave the 4-hour, it looked to me, if we zoom out a minute, I'll show you what it looked like. It looked like, because I didn't see that this was a support here, that was going to be the support. And if that was the support there, then the market's pulling back way too much to warrant a trade on the 4-hour chart. As it happens, I missed the support. That's the one that we're looking at. Previous support becomes resistance. So we've got a few opportunities for us here on the 4-hour chart. Number one, we look to trade a 1, 2, 3 reversal off of the previous support becomes resistance. And number two, we go to a daily chart and we look for a candlestick reversal pattern. Okay. If the market breaks up above this level, then we need to consider opportunities to the upside. Although we won't just take it because we've had the breakthrough to the upside, we'll still need to look for some decent price action there, but it definitely will be something that's on the radar as opposed to looking at the short opportunities. Does that make sense to you guys? Are there any questions on that? Any questions? No? All good in the hood? Okie dokie. So, then looking at the euro dollar. So what's the euro dollar saying to us? The euro dollar is not quite the same as a pound dollar. It's a little, there's no real trend here. There's no, we are swing traders. So there's no real swings here. It's bouncing off of support at the moment. So the only real trade that I can see at the moment on the euro is a trade to the upside. Is looking for the market to reach sort of like the 13425 level over here. And if it gets above there, the 137 level. That's sort of what's on the radar at the moment. And also we have this trouble area over here, which is where the market's reacting to at the moment. So there's nothing really too clear cut on the euro dollar as far as I'm concerned at the moment. So we'll move on from that. What about the dollar CAD? Dollar CAD? What am I talking about? Dollar franc. Eventually when it loads. Hello. Load. Are there any questions whilst we're waiting for the chart to load here? How many of you trade this way? In the sense that how many of you actually sit down and analyze the charts and put your lines up on the charts and all of that good stuff before you take a trade? And how many of you just jump in and say, "Oh, look, that looks like a good trade. I'll take that." Fibs and support and resistance. Very nice. That's what I like to hear. So you do the preparation. Oh, dollar franc is loaded. Good. Yes, horizontal lines are most important for me as well. Okay, dollar franc. Absolute disgrace of a chart. We're in a weekly consolidation. There's absolutely nothing on it for me at the moment. That's horrific. You can't trade that. Let's move on to the next one. Let's look at some of the Aussie pairs. They've been moving quite nicely. You would like to look at the pound Aussie. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Well, before we do that, let's just take a quick look at the Aussie dollar. So, from a 1 hour perspective, nothing on. That's fine because we're looking to swing trade here. From a 4 hour perspective, we're kind of at the bottom of some consolidations. We've got a bit of a tough one here. So, 4 hour perspective, there's not a lot in terms of a trade that I'll be able to take there. Weekly chart, fantastic. We would like to see a pullback to this sort of area here, around the 95, 96s. If we get a pullback to there on the daily chart, so what is that? That is, look at the daily, so this sort of level here. Zoom in. So what I'm looking for on the Aussie dollar, it's gone a long way without much of a pullback. So we do want to see it pull back somewhat before we look to take the trade. So we'll be looking for it to pull back to the 95.80 level, which was a big level. We cast look left here. Look at that. That's a huge level. The market's been selling off massively, and it comes to that point there and can go no further. and then rallies from 96, almost 1,000 points to 106. That's not an insignificant level. That's a very, very important level for us. So if the market can come back to that level there, I'm fully anticipating a turnaround. So I'd fully be looking for a sell opportunity at this level here. I'd be looking for something like a shooting star or something like that, and that would be enough for me to look for the shorts. What are we saying here? Alex, could you tell us what strategy you used and discarded prior to finding this? Stop us wasting time. Manoj, that's kind of a tough one, because just because we've discarded a strategy, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means that it didn't work for us. Does that make sense? Now, we've been through a couple of cycles, and we didn't discard them because they didn't work. We discarded them because they had weaknesses, and we went for, we were constantly looking to improve our trading. So we started off by news trading, and this was back in 2005. So that was basically like printing money. However, those days are long gone. You can't, I guess it wasn't really trading as such. It was more arbitrage. You kind of had these ways of ensuring that you made money. But anyway, as I said, those days are long gone. We used to have non-farm payrolls that went sort of 150 pips in one direction without looking back. And you do something called straddling the market, which today is suicide, by the way. So do not do that. But that was what we did. Then we went on and started to look at a bit of technical analysis. We've never been indicator junkies in the sense we've thrown 4,000 indicators onto our charts. So we went and looked at some technical analysis, sort of support and resistance. What we're doing now, to be honest with you, but we didn't understand enough of the market back then. So we then went and looked at some fundamentals. And we traded really well, just purely based on fundamentals for a number of years. However, there were weaknesses in that approach, and that was timings of the markets. Okay, so we had, super huge stops, which we didn't need to have, but we did it because we were just trading the sentiment, and we weren't looking at the technicals. Now what we've kind of done is we've come full circle, and we trade pretty much purely on the technicals. We look at some fundamentals at points, but the majority of our trading decisions are only on the technicals. Okay, so the strategy that we use today is a swing trading strategy, so much like what you're seeing here, but I would then jump in and I'd look at my range charts, so the 45 range charts, things like that, to look for my entry points. Okay, but I'll do the analysis the same way as I'm doing here. So we're swing trading, we're looking for strong trends. Once we find the strong trends, then we look to enter at a discount. So if we're in an uptrend, we'll look to enter when the market drops off somewhat. If we're in a downtrend, we'd look to enter at the top of a rally. Does that answer your question? Okay. So the Aussie dollar, as I said, would be very, very nice if it could pull back to kind of like the 95.80 level. Around 93, 94 looks like it's turned support and resistance given dollar strength. Why would it go up to 96? Why would it go up to 96? Because that's the way the market goes. That's a really bad answer, pan on fire. That's the market structure. Okay, so the market never goes in one direction, just from A to B. Now, it may drop off from here, it may not go back to there. But, okay, the big but here is that we aren't trying to, we don't have a crystal ball. So there's no way of knowing that. So our setup say that we're only willing to trade if it gets back to this level. Now, more often than not, it's going to get back to that level. Look at how far it's come. It's gone basically more than 1,000 points from the top here. Okay, 1,600 down to 91. That is a big move without any sort of a pullback. So we'd fully be anticipating a pullback to this level here around the 95, 90, 96 type level, and then we'd be looking for the turnaround. Now, we may not get that. The market may decide to fall off a cliff from here and jump down to 80, in which case, obviously, that particular trade's off the table. But we're just planning. So what we're doing is we're saying we're creating like an if-then environment. Okay, so we're saying if the market comes back to here, then we will do X. What that then does for us is it takes all of the thinking out of the trade. So when the market gets back there, we know exactly what we're going to do. We have a plan in place. Does that make sense, Panel Fire? So I'm not saying that it would get up there. We're just putting a plan in place if it does get up there, because as the market is right now, there's nothing on the table for me. So if the market breaks 90, breaks below this level, then we've got to be looking for a shorting opportunity. But for me, I'd be looking for it to pull back to a level of support or resistance. So maybe the market does break through this level here. I wouldn't trade the initial break. I'd wait for the market to pull back. And then when it pulls back, then I'd be looking for the sell opportunity. Okie dokie. So someone wanted to look at the pound Aussie. Let's bring that little puppy up here. Can you load quicker? So any other questions whilst we're waiting for this chart? Oh, wait for the retest and sell was said. Yes, indeed. But that's just the way that I trade. I can't stand trading through the lows. It winds me up. Can we talk about the dollar yen? I'll bring that up in a second. Let's just look at the pound Aussie. And then we'll look at the dollar yen. So who asked about the pound Aussie? Who was that? Pan on fire. Okay, are you in this particular trade at the moment? Oh, what the hell is that? What is that? Something's happened to my charts. Okay, anyway, you're in a trade at the moment. Which direction? No, but you were looking for a break south, but didn't meet the test. Okay, fair enough. Hold on. Something strange has happened to my daily chart here. I'm going to have to reload the data. All right. So looking at the pound Aussie, it is definitely a buy. If I can sort out my charts so they don't take the mick. Spacing. No, it's going to take the mick. Okay. Just as long as I know that. All right. So it's definitely a buy. However, on the daily, I can't really see much of an entry there. The price action here is kind of disgraceful, if I'm completely honest. Where can we see an entry? 4-hour chart, no. 1-hour chart, yeah, I guess you could look over here to be taking it long, although with the rest of the chart struggling a bit, I wouldn't say it's the best opportunity to take. So that leaves us with the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we are looking at the 1622 level or the 15917. In reality, Pan on Fire, even though the market is definitely moving to the upside, I can't see a good trade at the moment. There's nothing here for me right now that would convince me to want to get into a trade. So I have to be honest with you. I would have this on my watch list, but I wouldn't be looking for any imminent entry. And the reason for that is that the price action has kind of screwed itself, and it's really not so pretty. So for that fact, it just, it doesn't make too much sense to me at the moment anyway. Okay, so let's look at the dollar yen. So it's not so I wouldn't, it's definitely moving up, but you want the price action to look a little prettier than that. Let's look at the dollar yen. And then the Aussie New Zealand, no problem. Who's in the dollar yen? Who was asking about that? Are you in the dollar yen? Are you in a trade at the moment in this? You're short. Brave man. Okay. Why did you go short? What was your reasoning? Is it off of what time frame are you short from? No, no, just reason I ask is that looking at the charts here, they're all overwhelmingly strong. They're all overwhelmingly bullish. So from my perspective, I personally, but it's just the way that I trade, right? I like to trade in the direction of the trend. I wouldn't be looking to go short here. However, this is your decision. As I said, this is not advice. So from my perspective, analyzing this chart here, I would be looking for the market to pull back to this sort of level here, and I would be all over it on the long side. I'd be looking to take a long from the 96, 97. From the weekly chart, you can see this is overwhelmingly up. The weekly chart had a bit of a bounce, pulling back a little bit, but that's fine. That's not a problem. So yeah, if we got a pullback to that sort of level there, I'd be more than happy to take a long. If we broke down and we got a pullback to the 93, 94 level, again, I'd be perfectly happy to take a long opportunity from there. So from my perspective, I'm looking for buying opportunities. From the hourly perspective, yeah, I guess you could trade sort of like a break of a pennant, a flag type thing. Put this in here. What you would want to see if you were looking to go short here, what you would want to see, or what I would want to see, is we see the way that the market is pulling back here, right? Now, the secret with trading is looking at the price action. Okay, so don't be blinded. If the market goes sideways and breaks this particular this trend line here, that is not an entry opportunity. Okay? Yes, I would be buying on dips. At the moment, I'm looking at the 1 hour for you though. I just want to explain what you're looking for when you're looking to trade price action. Okay, so guys, don't be blinded in just looking at the lines and saying, oh, it broke the line, therefore I'm going to enter the trade. You need to look at why has it broken the line? How has it broken the line? So with this opportunity here, if the market continues to go sideways and breaks this because it goes sideways and we end up somewhere over here, that is not an entry. Okay, that has never, ever, ever been an entry. What you want to do is you'd want to trade this if the price breaks this line with momentum. So if you get a nice big red candle that breaks through the line and breaks and closes below this candle here, for example, so let's say this would be the support level that we look to take, that would signal to me that we're looking for opportunities to the downside. That would signal that the good trade there would be looking for a short. If this just breaks it because it's broken it just for the sake of it, that's not an opportunity. That doesn't make any sense. If that just goes sideways, and remains above this support line here, that's not an opportunity for me. If we get momentum, if we get a nice big red candle that closes below that line, I'm short all day long. Okay, just based on that. However, looking at the other charts here, so looking at the daily and the weekly, I would be short only until the 96.80 level. Because when you get down to the 96.80 level, you've got a strong previous level of resistance which becomes support. Okay? So in summary, from a dollar yen perspective, longer term, 100% I'm long. If I'm itchy, if I really need to take a trade, I'd be taking a trade off the 1 hour, and I'd be taking a trade on a break of that trend line below this support line there. That's the trade I'm looking for. Okay? Yeah, around the 98.70. If I had to. Yeah. Okay. So what was the next one? Next one. We're buying on dips. In 4-hour chart is not a good chart as brokers have different day and turnovers. Yeah, you can say that, but it swings and roundabouts, John. I've traded 4-hour charts for years and years and years, and I quite like them, to be honest. So where are we? Aussie New Zealand, that was the one. Okay. Let's bring that little puppy up. Do I use indicators? Yes, not on their price action charts when I'm just looking to plan my trades. No, I'll keep them clean. But yeah, on our entry charts, or things like our 45 range charts, we use indicators. Load, damn it, load. It would be nice if the charts loaded a little quicker. Any questions so far? Shall I sing to you while we're waiting? You don't want that. Cable next, no problemo. I might be drawing my pension by the time the chart loads. Have I got a pension? No, I don't trust them. No. Pension for me is my trading and just buying some properties so that when I get old and decrepit, I can do nothing and just live off of that. Trade the markets. I probably won't be day trading when I'm drawing my pension. I'll probably just dial it back a bit and do some mainly swing trading. Yeah, I'll need more time for playing golf and flying my plane. So, although having said that, I should probably start playing golf again if that's what I plan to do. A couple of years ago, when I started to fly planes, I had to make a decision between golf and the flying because there's no way that you can get away with doing both if you've got 3 children and a wife. It doesn't work. Well, maybe it does. And if somebody's got some advice on that, please feel free while we're waiting for the charts to load, because clearly we have nothing else to do right now. How long have I been trading? About, where are we? 2013. 8 years now? Buy them lots of gifts and flowers. Yeah. You see, I tried that, but the problem is that my wife sees through that. And when I go and purchase a plane, for example, she then expects the equivalent gift. So it's not flowers and chocolates and things. It starts moving up into diamonds and stuff like that, which, you know. Yeah. Okay. Aussie New Zealand. So, Aussie New Zealand on a 1-hour chart. It's just playing with consolidation, 4-hour consolidation. Daily is at the bottom, weekly. Oof, this is a tough one. I mean, for me, you're probably going to be wanting the price to pull back to around here on the daily chart. What was that? 1936. So, In reality, we're going to want the daily chart to pull back to here, and then we'll be looking for a short. But at the moment, there's nothing very pretty on the horizon, to be honest with you. So let's move over to cable. Girls would like your time. It's true. I took my wife shopping the other day. And we're in, I don't know if any of you guys live in London, but there's this massive shopping centre called Westfield. And it's got a little park called the Village where they've got really nice, am I trading today? Yeah, when I get off the line with you guys, I will be. Euro pound. Shepherd's Bush, Edward. We will look at the euro pound for sure. Yes, while we wait for the charts to load. So we're shopping, we're looking at handbags, okay, and we went into this little place in the Village, Mulberry, and I thought, okay, so we'll treat my wife, we'll get her something nice. Looked at the handbags, and I thought, how bad can it be? £500, £600. This little handbag, clutch bag, £2,000 for a handbag. Anyway, needless to say, we didn't make that purchase. For a piece of leather. I told her I'd go home and I'd make her one from scratch for that amount of money. I'd learn how to stitch and I'd make one just as nice as that. Get some golf lessons. She starts some tennis lessons next week, actually. Marion smiled. No. We joined the tennis club last year because I wanted my daughter to play tennis, which actually was Wimbledon inspired, if I'm completely honest. And my wife said that she's been saying she wanted a lesson for ages, and now eventually she's getting around to getting them done. So currently short the Euro CAD, Aussie CAD, Euro franc, dollar franc, and long. Wow, you're in a lot of trades there, John. Oh, Ray, we'll have to hook up for a bite to eat or something the next time we're down there. You're short going okay and stops in place, so a round of golf will be great. Yeah, are you 1% on all of those, John? What you guys need to make sure that you don't do is it's okay taking a lot of trades, but understand that just as quickly as you take a lot of trades, you can be stopped out of a lot of them as well. And we went through cable earlier. 0.5%. Okay. That's not too bad. We went through cable earlier, so we're looking for a sell-off of this level here. The 152.70 level. Otherwise, if it breaks above, we're going to be looking for a long. So I'll then move on swiftly to the euro pound. To make sure we have time, we can fit everybody in. Okay, euro pound. Let's see. Should you buy on dips on cable? No, at the moment I'm looking for selling opportunities. So the euro pound. Ugly. Nothing. I couldn't pick a trade here if my life depended on it, to be honest with you. There's just no. If I call any sort of a trade here, if I was doing analysis in my own time, for example, I would spend literally about 5 seconds on this chart and move on because this is just horrific. I would not be looking at the euro pound. Are there any other pairs that you'd like to look at? Did I cover the pound yen? I did not. Let's go and take a look. Shorter during the Asian session, hoping to go all the way to 148. If the pair can break 149, base your decision on the 4-hour chart. Pair bounced down off of the 89 EMA. Okay, let's take a look. The dollar franc, we looked at that earlier, didn't we? I think we said that it was just, there's nothing on the dollar franc, Edward. Pound yen. Did we cover the Aussie yen? No, but I will go and take a look at it in a second. Actually, the Aussie yen is one that we're in at the moment. So I will show you that one. Short. I think it's the Aussie yen. I'll come back to it in a second. You're long. On what basis? Okay, fair enough. If only the market would load quicker. Dollar CAD. I'm pretty sure the dollar CAD is Mingen. Dollar yen we've spoken about. New Zealand, Aussie, we can take a look at that as well if we have time. But at the moment, we're going to wait for the pound yen and we'll look at the Aussie yen. But then I think we'll be out of time, to be honest with you. Aussie's getting crushed. Yeah. Come on, pound yen. Okie dokie. So let's play a game while we wait. Let's play I Spy. Has anybody played that before? I'll start. I Spy with my little eye. Something beginning with S. Anyone? Your name? Nearly, but no. It's got to be something that I can see physically. And it's in my office. I was going to go with screen, but then I looked left further down and I picked something else. You were so close. No. Something you sit on. Shoe. No, I didn't. Oh, that's a good one. Something you sit on. Yeah, close enough. Sofa. Okay, your turn. Saddle. Yeah, no, I've got a sofa. Edward won that one, so it's his turn. He's got to find something in his office. Will this be a law? Something beginning with P. I would say pips, but I don't know if you can see those. Your P&L? Pen? Yeah, good one. Pen. No? Damn it. can't even think of a word beginning with P at the moment. Pants. Picture. Oh, please tell me pants was the right one. Damn it. Okay, the pound yen is taking a mick out of my life right now. Pivot point. Oh, there you go, Martin. Okay, I'm going to try and bring up the Aussie yen because the pound yen is just doing something stupid. Okay, your phone. Good one. Okay, well, guys, I think that brings us to the end of it. Unfortunately, my charts wouldn't load towards the end, so we couldn't see the last one of the pound yen. So apologies for that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't usually take this long. I think it just saves it when I'm doing webinars so that it can embarrass me. But no, it's usually almost instant. So I hope you all enjoyed today. Hopefully that gave you an indication of how I go about looking at my charts, what I'm looking at. Remember, if it doesn't jump out at you, then it's not there. The trade doesn't exist. Don't take it. All right. Only take the most obvious trades you can see. Okay. But thank you very much for joining. Thank you, FX Street, for having me. I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. And I will look forward to speaking to you all then. Hopefully you can join us again then. Until then, have a very good week trading, and I will speak to you all soon. Okay, take care then, and thank you very much.